I don't really believe that the Giants should rush Jaxson Dart in the least bit.
I'll say definitely the playbook. Yeah, I'm getting super comfortable in the playbook for sure. And
do I think he's powerful? Do I think that when he gets going, he's tough to bring down? He's a physical runner. Yeah.
Browns fans were left speechless as Shedeur Sanders absolutely destroyed Jaxson Dart at training camp. And the footage doesn't lie. From clean reads to cold-blooded touchdowns, Sanders looked like a future QB1, while Dart opened camp with a brutal pick 6. The difference: one looked like the moment, the other looked overwhelmed by it.
And photos are now coming out of Jaxson Dart, Tommy DeVito, Jameis Winston, and Russ throwing. I guess Russ pooped down his shorts.
Jaxson Dart's first official throw of training camp? A pick 6. First throw, first read, first disaster. On the other end, Shedeur Sanders was out there slicing defenses like it was week 10 of the regular season, dime after dime. And people noticed. It wasn't just a rough rep, it was a statement, a loud one, the kind of moment that turns doubts into headlines. And for Dart, the worst part, this is exactly what folks should have seen coming.
Schematically, Jaxson Dart's the only fit. Brian Daboll needs a quarterback that's a dual threat quarterback.
Let's rewind to January 11th, back when the hype machines were pumping. Multiple scouts reportedly had Dart ranked above Shedeur and Cam Ward. Some even claimed he could pull off a Jaden Daniels-style rise. Seriously? That's not projection, that's wishful thinking. And Browns fans, you remember that chatter? Dart was in that pre-draft mix for your squad. Now, everyone's asking the same thing. How did the scouts get this so wrong?
We all know and respect what he is as an offensive play caller, as an offensive mind, as a quarterback developer. If he can get in there with that offense and he can do something similar to what Josh Allen and he did when he was his OC for 4 years in Buffalo, it's going to be a really, really good.
I never want to make anybody feel, any type of way about anything. So it was important that he gets everything he needs to say out and everybody captures what he has. And then now, I'm here.
Because the signs were there. They've always been there. Media buried Shedeur in character questions, yet gave Dart a free ride. Even labeled Shedeur as a problem off field, just for having confidence. Meanwhile, Jaxson Dart had the easiest setup imaginable at Ole Miss. Wide open RPO shots, broken coverages, and a future NFL receiver in Trey Harris catching everything. He wasn't reading defenses, he was coasting.
Spotlight's bright in New York. I think that we all could agree up here, and we've all talked about it, that the Giants need to do something in this draft.
And now we're seeing what happens when you take off the training wheels. Back to that pick. If you break it down frame by frame, it's brutal. His head never moves after the snap, not once. He stares down the receiver the entire time. No disguise, no deception, just a locked-in late throw into traffic.
So when you draft a player, right, and you're comparing him to Josh Allen, it makes sense. I want a guy like Josh Allen, too. Like, every team wants that. Until you really watch him, he looks nothing like Josh Allen.
And this wasn't some desperate throw under duress. There was no pressure. He had a clean pocket, good setup, solid base, and he still fired it late into a closing window with a defender's eyes locked in on him. That's not just a bad play, that's a warning sign. And fans didn't hold back. Twitter lit him up. Daniel Jones 2.0 was trending in some corners of Giants Nation. People weren't just roasting Dart, they were regretting the draft pick already, and it's just camp, first day with pads. That's how fast narratives can turn when expectations were never realistic in the first place.
I'm like, there's no way possible. So I was super confused with this pick. I will say, though, he will have some success being with Brian Daboll. I've been with him in Buffalo. I think he's a really good coach. I just don't know, man, if he will have the same success if he had Shedeur Sanders at quarterback other than Dart.
Let's talk about the system he came from, because that matters. Dart played in an RPO-heavy offense at Ole Miss. That system simplifies everything. Most of his reads were scripted, 1 to 2 options, minimal adjustments, zero post-snap manipulation. He never had to move a safety or look off a linebacker. His job was to throw to the open guy, and when Trey Harris is out there cooking DBs every Saturday, that job looks a whole lot easier than it really is.
I'll say just have a deeper level of understanding. Because I know whenever I get my opportunity, I gotta maximize it.
But the NFL's different. You gotta move defenders with your eyes. You have to be able to throw into tight windows before the break. Dart never had to develop those tools because he didn't need them in college. And now, without the RPO cushion, the cracks are obvious. There's no misdirection bailing him out, no wide open gaps from defensive breakdowns, just pro-level reads, and he's not making them.
He doesn't necessarily see quarter fat players all the time in cover 4. You can confuse him in cover 6. Like, he doesn't see underneath.
This is what happens when hype outpaces tape. And the media, they're quiet now. The same ones that were gushing about Dart's arm talent, his upside, his SEC toughness, they're nowhere to be found. And let's not forget, those same outlets were nitpicking Shedeur's personality while ignoring Dart's very real on-field flaws. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get more updates on training camp.
Shedeur now brings up the rear in Cleveland, Ohio. Way to go, league. You did it.
And Browns fans, y'all should be thanking the front office for not falling into the trap, because what you just saw from Jaxson Dart, that's not rust, that's not nerves, that's the product of a system that never prepared him for the league. Meanwhile, Shedeur, he's thriving in the fire, reading, reacting, delivering. That's the difference between a highlight and a habit. And trust me, the scouts know it now.
You do not get the same opportunity that those higher drafted than you get, and you do not get the same opportunity that those that have been in the league before you.
Shedeur Sanders is playing football like it's chess, and everybody else is still trying to figure out checkers. The dude is calm, composed, and walking into training camp like he's already been in the league for 2 years. You watch him go through reads, hit his back foot, and snap the ball off like he's been doing this forever. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it's surgical.
Shedeur Sanders, who I thought should go first overall, fell to 5th string, 5th round pick of the Cleveland Browns. They have 5 quarterbacks on their roster, and
that's what separates Shedeur right now. Dart is still throwing to spots. Shedeur is throwing to moments. There's a difference, and fans are catching on fast. Giants fans, poor souls, are already flooding comment sections like, why didn't we take Shedeur? Like clockwork. You know how long it takes to flip on a rookie QB after a bad pick 6 in training camp? About 48 seconds and a single TikTok edit of Shedeur rolling out and throwing a seed.
You have to change in the mentality standpoint, and the mental standpoint is, okay, I just got to think about what I could do to get better, even if I'm not getting reps in. Yeah.
And let's not overlook the intangibles. Shedeur talks like a vet, composed in interviews, no wild statements, no forced confidence. He says what needs to be said, no more, no less. You can tell he's media trained, but more than that, he gets it. He understands the politics, the spotlight, the expectations. This isn't new to him. He grew up in this pressure, and now that he's under it, he's just cool. So what's the verdict so far?
The veterans report to training camp on the 22nd of July, and I believe the first practice is in 2 days.
Shedeur is out here building something real. Chemistry, trust, leadership, the stuff that matters. He's doing the hard things well, and he's doing it with patience and poise. Dart? He's still stuck in gear 1, trying to figure out how not to tip off the entire defense before he even throws the ball.
To me, I feel like he won already.
You can't fake quarterback play, not in the NFL, not even in camp. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is writing a different story, while Jaxson Dart's still trying to find the first chapter.
Overly prepared, and I had to worry about a lot of different things, just from my youth to high school to college. And I never had a chance to, I'll say, sit back and...
Let's talk about the real reason Shedeur Sanders gets dragged like he committed a felony every time he throws an almost pick in shorts in a practice jersey, because the double standard is louder than a mic'd up Jameis Winston. Seriously, Dart throws a pick 6 on his first camp pass, and it's silence from the media. Crickets. But Shedeur throws a slightly behind the hip ball in 7-on-7, and suddenly every sports outlet is breaking it down like it's the Zapruder film.
We know I know he has the talent. We'll see. It'll be a competition that usually brings the best out of guys, especially young guys, so I'm interested to see how that quarterback situation.
But here's why this moment actually matters. This isn't just training camp. This is a window into how narratives are born and how they mess with entire careers. Dart was crowned too early. Now that reality's hitting, it's ugly. And if it keeps up like this, draft night for him is going to look real different. Meanwhile, Shedeur's doing everything right and still getting questioned. But the thing is, he's already won the war that matters. The locker room. The coaches trust him. The vets respect him. That doesn't happen by accident.
Pre-draft process was so unorthodox that he didn't go through it all like everyone else did. And I think there's a lot that we can look back on this thing, especially if he becomes a star in this league, and say, you could point fingers in a million ways. Not having a pure agent, not having the workouts.
And hey, Browns fans, let's have an honest moment. You dodged a missile. Dart in Cleveland. That would have been heartbreak number 64 in a row. Let someone else go through that roller coaster. So here's the question. Are we witnessing the rise of a real one or the crash of another overhyped system QB? If you have come this far, make sure to subscribe to the channel and get more updates on NFL.